Today's episode is sponsored by Holy Milk. I've got a test package here. Delicious vegan milk that has no seed or vegetable oil, refined sugar, natural flavors, or non-organic stabilizers. This stuff is delicious. Check out the Holy Milk Instagram to find out where you can purchase Holy Milk in New York City. Here we are on beautiful Jones Street.
You start Ted Jones.
I became a correctional officer, which is kind of wild. Yeah, I was a CEO, bro.
In Houston?
Yeah, it was this inmate threw toilet water on me, bro.
Oh, that's not that bad, though.
That's not that bad. It was the execution unit. That's where they executed inmates. So like,
And you were a CO in the execution unit.
Yeah. And, I'm talking to inmates that they have life, you know what I mean? And they've already been there, let's say like 40 years.
Cris Sosa, what's up, man? So this will go back and forth, not so much up and down.
Wow,
that
right.
water's all you.
Perfect.
Let's go, bro. Thanks for coming on the pod, man. How you been?
Smooth ride over here.
Yeah?
No big deal.
All right, nice, man. You and I spoke briefly at the shop the other night. So now you're approaching, what, a year in New York?
Yeah, bro.
Where are you from originally, bro?
I'm originally from Houston.
Okay, nice, man. Nice.
Houston,
That's where you started comedy?
No, I started comedy in Los Angeles.
Okay, and how long were you in LA for?
I was out there in LA for about 9 years.
And what made you come to New York?
I just wanted to conquer the East Coast. You know what I'm
all
saying?
right, dude.
Yeah,
Had enough time over there in LA?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess this isn't really your first winter in New York, is it?
I moved out here in January of last year, so I also heard that last year's winter was kind of weak too.
Nah, dude, it was soft.
Yeah,
you're getting a pretty good one now. Dude.
That's what I was saying too. This one seems like
a bit nippy outside, bro.
Yeah, but I also as well. I mean, I know you're not supposed to say this in New York.
Let's hear it.
It hasn't snowed, so.
Yeah. Well, today apparently, I think today might be the first day of winter.
Really?
December 21st, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. December 20th or 21st. So it feels like we're going to get some snow.
Well, come on, bring it, bro. I'm ready.
I feel you, man. What are some of the things in New York that have been different about, I mean, you moved from LA to New York or Houston to New York?
No, LA to New York.
So what are some glaring differences between LA and New York?
Definitely the weather.
Yes.
Definitely for sure. It's different. You know
That's
what I'm
number
saying?
one.
Yeah. And then also, transportation. I'm a driver. Like
I see you got your keys here.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but that's not for the web.
Right. That's for the
apartment
crib.
Keys.
Right. So I've been walking big time out here in LA, walking, busing, train, and like all the other transport bikes, city bikes.
Oh, you've been hitting the city bike?
Man, what? The e-bikes? Come on, bro.
Okay, you hit the electric bike.
I hit the little bring too.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I'm coming. People recommend to do like the monthly deal, but then like, I don't know if I'm gonna be really using it that much. I don't know. I still have to like do the math.
Is it not worth it if you do the monthly?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Cause I had a good like e-bike season. Cause I'll ride the regular bikes too, but them things are so like, if you ride the e-bikes, you can't just go to the regular bikes.
Dude, especially like I started on e-bikes. I don't ride it so much, but probably like around a year ago, this time is when I kind of was doing the e-bike. It just got a little bit too cold to walk. Yeah. And then I started with the e-bikes and I was like addicted to it. Mm-hmm. And then I'd be looking and sometimes there weren't e-bikes. Yeah. And I got on those regular bikes and I was like, no, this is not the worst. It's
the worst. It's hard to like those things are like heavy. It's hard to push too and like get it rolling. But I've also had my first like wipeout on the e-bike. Yeah, I ate it, and it was also too. It was a nice dismount because I didn't like flip and like hurt or anything like that. It was definitely one of those ones that like skidded and kind of threw myself off of it. Let the bike go that way. I went this way, and it was also on oncoming traffic too.
Was it a car that had you?
Well, yeah, because like I was also being lazy, man. Like instead, because there's a lot of one ways. It's a lot of one ways out here, so. Like I didn't want to worry about going onto the way that like I should be going. So yeah, this time the cars were coming towards me, and I'm just like, you know what, it's all good. Like I'll let it rock. And I was going and I was hitting it, but I think I don't even know what it was, man. I just wanted to. Oh, I know what it was. It was the orange. It was those orange like construction like big cones, those deals. So it was starting to like fade into one lane. So I had to get over, and and there was a car coming. And I was on an e-bike, so I was going really fast. So I didn't really gauge how fast I was going. There was a school bus that parked on that side. So I was like going into the school bus. Damn, that's what was happening.
Did you injure yourself at all? Or you came
out? No, it was like, I mean, just like little like scuff, you know what I mean? But I felt it was cool because like they stopped in time, like to, check on me. It was a Dominican. That's all the Dominican flag. It was like,
Oh, nice.
brother, you okay, brother? And I was like, oh, I'm cool, bro. I'm good. And
Dude, anytime I feel like a family member would hear something like that, they're like, Cristino, you're wearing a helmet, right?
Yeah,
And
right,
you're
right.
Nah,
Nah,
you can't be carrying around that helmet.
Nah,
man.
bro. You're on an e-bike, bro. No, you can't rock with a helmet, bro.
No, I feel. Do you ever ride birds when you were in LA? The scooter,
Yeah.
Lime?
Oh, yeah. A bird.
You prefer the birds and limes over the e-bike or not?
Man, no, I like the e-bikes. The e-bikes is cool. It's cool riding a bike in New York. Like I definitely want to own a bike now. Like I want to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. It's cool.
But you want to own an e-bike?
Yeah, why not?
Attach that
Why
thing
not?
that the
For sure.
delivery
Those things-
drivers have.
Right, those things are
electric thing.
they're a little pricey. I didn't even know you could do that. Like you could add a motor to it.
Yeah, I think that's what the delivery guys do.
Oh, word.
They'll just like add a pack. I don't know how much extra it is or how
Yeah.
much charge it gets, but bro, you see these guys whipping. Man.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
going
those things are
30
loud
miles an hour.
sometimes.
Like they have the mitts, because it gets so cold. And then
Yeah,
just freaking
I saw
gliding,
those things.
dude.
Right. They look like big, like Mega Man boosters.
Yeah. And they look
cannons.
fresh in it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's how I've been getting around. But I guess like the big difference, especially like LA to New York, is definitely the a lot of culture out here. You know what I mean? Whole bunch of culture. Like everybody from around the world lives out here, and it's it's diverse in LA as well. But you have to also like in LA, you're also putting on. You're wanting to put on your best type of performance, and I can kind of now that I live in a different place, I can compare the LA's. You kind of have that persona of like you want to have like a status. You know what I'm saying? Out here, you can't bullshit out here,
Bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what part of LA did you live in?
I mean, I lived everywhere, bro. Downtown LA. When I was last out there. I mean, the last place I lived in was in downtown LA. But I lived in Koreatown. I lived in the Valley, North Hollywood, Van Nuys.
Would you
Studio
just
City.
bounce from like lease to lease, like every year you'd be in a new
Yeah,
place?
yeah. I would switch it up, man. I would switch it up for sure. There was a couple of times where I've just gotten evicted. That's just like entertainment journey. You know what I'm saying? Where it just ain't hit. Money wasn't right. But yeah, it's humbling moments for sure. But it's what gets you strong. It's actually what gave me the confidence to be out here in New York, because it was just like, man, I moved to LA when I was 19, not knowing anything. You know what I mean? So I moved to New York I was 29, turning 30 out here. So it was like, I'm not as naive as I used to be, and I know how to move around. I know how to make money. I know how to, just get through it. Now, New York definitely New Yorked me. There's a lot of humbling moments that New York can do, to be like, all right, that's real cute, bro.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Like you come here, pursue your dream.
Yeah.
All right, let me slap you in the face a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. And give me your money.
Oh, most definitely give me your money, dude.
Yeah.
How did you find a roommate in LA when you were 19, coming from Houston?
Oh man, I got super lucky, man. I was living in a hotel, but at like my first like couple weeks, but then a friend of mine, my good buddy JR Villarreal, an amazing talent, amazing actor, he reached out to me because I dated his cousin back home in Houston. He's from Houston as well, or McAllen, Texas, but also in Houston. But he reached out to me. He lived in LA, and he knew, like, we met at a family gathering. It was like a quinceañera in Houston, so we met there, exchanged numbers. But when he heard that I was living in LA, he just reached out to me, man. He's like, hey, man, like, hope all was good. And, if you need anything, let me know. And, I let him know my living situation. He was like, bro, save you some money. And,
I was going to ask, if you were living in a hotel, that must have been expensive,
man,
right?
yeah, I did have a nice, like, stack of money, like, saved up to move to LA, but it was like enough to, like, for like a month in a hotel.
Okay.
So it was like,
it's like $3K.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it was like, he was like, yo, just save your money, man. And, you can crash on my couch.
So you went to high school in Houston. Yeah. And then when you graduated, you wanted to go to LA, or how did that look?
No, man. When I graduated, I had like a 2-year scholarship for acting. I did theater my junior and senior year, and it went well. And yeah, I had this scholarship, and I went to the college. It was a great theater program, but I just wasn't feeling the college aspect of it.
It was in Houston?
Yeah, Houston.
But you got a scholarship for 2 years for a theater program?
Yeah, it was pretty much like if we had UIL one act, like which is pretty much like varsity theater competition.
In high school?
In high school, okay. Yeah. So like if you made it to the state finals, then you automatically qualify for this scholarship. Oh, damn. And so we made it to the finals, and yeah, I had it, and it was a last minute decision too, because I just wasn't really feeling school anymore. Like I finished high school, got the diploma, like I walked, and I was kind of like, all right, cool, like. But it was just my brother was already in college, like he's 2 years ahead of me, so he was in college, and it just wasn't for me. So like I just dropped out, and I became a correctional officer, which is kind of wild. Yeah, I was a CEO, bro.
In Houston.
Yeah, it was a city called Huntsville, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like north, like kind of.
Was it pretty rough down there? Like how serious was the prison?
Yeah, it was the execution unit. That's where they executed inmates. So like,
and you were a CO in the execution unit.
Yeah.
What was it like talking with these guys every day?
Man,
like what was your relationship?
It was fine. It was fine, man. Like, they teach you in the academy to, your first like 3 to 6 months there, like you want to be stern. You want to pretty much like gain your respect early on, because they call them new boots. So they see like a new boot, they'll like want to take advantage, or
the inmates.
The inmates. They'll want to like, haze you or this and that, like, and talk shit. But I was a young cat, bro. I'm 18 years old. You know what I mean?
But they put you right in the execution unit?
They put me right in that unit.
Whoa. Is that normal?
I don't know. I don't know, but you know what, man? It was definitely an experience that like I realized. Like, cause I'm talking to inmates that they have life, you know what I mean? And they've already been there, let's say like 40 years, and they are talking, this is their life. So they don't necessarily are still having that like, man, whatever the world's like out there. Or maybe they do, but they also are kind of also putting me on game, just being like, yo, like, just let this be a lesson. Like I made one decision, and that decision was like a minute long that cost me to be here the rest of my life. So it's like I'd learned at a young age, like one choice can have you just change your entire life. So I was like, okay, well, let me make the choice that I want to make, and it influenced me to like, I'll start making choices towards like my passion. So I was in that prison for like almost 2 years before I moved to
Dude,
LA.
That's got to be a way better life lesson than like going to college for 2 years or something like that. Like you see somebody who's going to be in a cage the rest of their life. Yeah. They might even know their execution date, some of them, right?
Yeah.
How was their mindset? Were they like, was everybody pretty even keeled, or like the people that would they be in general pop? Like, how did that work?
Yeah. No, you're in general population. They're inmates. It's sometimes too like we can look up like what the inmates have done and stuff like that.
But see their papers.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that, because if you do, you'll find out like the inmate that's been telling you good morning officer every day is also the inmate that like did like child stuff, or you know what I mean, to where you're like, I shouldn't have seen that. Because you do want to treat the inmates all equally, whether you're being stern, then you're treating everybody stern. You don't want to just be like kind of cool with certain inmates and stuff like that. So I did get my respect. I was like, they hated it up top, because I was just threatening to like write up inmates pretty much every day. I had to just be like, nah, let me get your ID. And they're just like, fuck, like they would be like, man, come on, boss, man, come on, like, let me. And I didn't write them up. I just wanted to gain that respect, like to let them know, like, I'm not playing. You know what I mean? I had to like get that respect. And then once they finally figured like, okay, Sosa's not playing, he's about it, this is that. Then I was able to kind of go to like the type of officer that I want to be. I want to be respected, and I don't want to be a RoboCop. That's what they call them, like RoboCops. Just like
somebody who just like follows,
just being an asshole to inmates, just to mess with them. Like they're already in prison, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what were some of the lighter things that initially, when you came into the prison, that you'd write somebody up for? Like maybe their bed's not made, their books aren't in a line.
Yeah, no. They wouldn't really like get in trouble for that kind of stuff. They would get in trouble for like, if they have like a certain type of, what am I gonna say? How could they get written up? And there's a ton of things that you can write them up for. Like if they have like certain type of like contraband, like if they altered something, like they altered their radio, or if they altered something that it could come off as a weapon. You know what I mean? Like those type of things, write them up. And really they're altering it because they want to, they know how to make their burner hotter. You know, they did an alter, but it's like, nah, why'd you do that? You know, and so you want to catch them like just on easy, simple things. So where they're just like, man, this he's really on it, bro. Like textbook. You know what I'm saying? Like any type of day room things or like pill line. So if I'm calling for pill line and an inmate, what
would that be like? The people who are on meds?
Yeah, they're on meds. They have to go take their insulin or they got to go take their whatever pill. And so they'll go. They got to be in a single file line, whatever. And we go to the pill line. Now I got to watch the inmates take their pill and swallow it, and then they have to prove that they took their pill, like open their mouth and lift their tongue and all that stuff, show their hands. And if you're just being a lazy CO, then you're not even paying attention to them. You're just like letting them do their thing. And some of them, they'll do the motions, bro. They'll go like this and swallow and act like and then they still have it like in this hand. You know what I mean? And you didn't even catch it.
What would be the point to not take your pill?
So they can sell it out in like, because it's like a medicine for that they're prescribed, but other inmates could use it to like just kind of get a little buzz. You know what I'm saying? So they could sell a pill or two for like, trading it for some food or some, whatever, like commissary.
Working in the execution unit, how easy or difficult would it be for an inmate to smuggle in some contraband? Would it be pretty difficult?
Yeah. The way that inmates smuggle things into the prison, it's one or two ways. It's either through visitation from a family member, or through a CO. That's just what it is. Yeah, they're just convinced. Like one time I worked in the craft shop, and the craft shop, that's where they're making like leather boots. They're making they got like our artists in there. They have like that's like their I don't know, it's kind of like the elves shop, you know what I mean? They got wood shop, they got the metal, they're welding. They used to make like keychains for all of the COs, like key holders, all the badges. They're making the badges. Like they're also make things like out of creativity too, like they could sell. Like there's an inmate in there right now that I'm sure he's still in there right now, but he makes these leather boots, like gator, like real gator skin, like and make these boots. And he's made boots for like the governor before. Yeah, they're that good.
Where does he get supplies like that though from?
They're allowed to order. They have a certain vendor list, so they're allowed to order from the outside world and bring it in. And but of course it's like checked through all, like, it's going through all the procedures.
And I'm sure he needs to get to a point where he gets special privileges to do that, right?
Yeah. There's a line for like trying to get into the craft shop, because craft shop is considered a job. Every inmate has a job. So a craft shop is like, that's like recess, you know what I mean? Like you get to go and just like create stuff, and like you have all these tools and you get to escape and do all that. So man, there's people that are still waiting to get into the craft shop, like years to like get in there. But what was that? I was bringing that up because that leather boot dude, he asked me to bring him a quarter pounder, like a cheeseburger, like a meal from like McDonald's. He was like, he'll hook me up with a leather, like what he wanted to make me, like a wallet or something that he was like gonna like, I got you type shit. And like I basically bring in McDonald's for me, like for lunch, but then I hook him up with that quarter pounder. And I was like, nah, bro, come on, man.
Yeah, but like how would that even be considered worth it for you to get a leather wallet, or you probably lose your job too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the thing is like, you can get away with it. Let's say I did get away with it. Okay, that's one thing. But then now it turns into a phone. It turns into a SIM card, which a SIM card is like they just need a SIM card. So it's like, oh, that's easy. That's something so tiny. You know what I mean? You put that in your shoe. You put that,
But then also once you do this one favor for this guy, doesn't everybody else know that you've done it?
Yup. So it's like,
so come on, you did that for Dominguez. Right. Come on, bro. Just bring me in a SIM card. Damn.
So you get it. Yeah. Domino effect, bro. It's wild.
So for the COs that are there 20 to 25 years, are they just like by the book? Maybe they're friends with like a few inmates, but they got to keep everything in a line. Is that kind of how you keep a job like that for that many years?
As far as like being in the craft shop?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. They don't play about their tools, their equipment, cleaning up. Like they are on point. And what's crazy is that like there's only one CO in that craft shop, and you're in this craft shop with, I say about 40 inmates,
All murderers.
I don't know if they're, I don't know, but yeah, but at the same time, it could be. But at the same time, you're in there with like inmates. They have saws. They have all types of tools that they could just murder you. You know what I mean? Like if they really wanted to just one day just all just agree to just go like, you know what?
Riot.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Riot when you were in prison?
I didn't see a riot. I've seen a fight. I've saved an inmate from hanging himself as well. Yeah. That was my craziest ever like report, like mad paperwork. Yeah, inmate tried to hang himself.
So you were walking by doing cell check.
I was count time. It was count time. So every 3 hours is count time. We got to count the inmates in our cell block that we're assigned.
So do they have to come to the front of the cell?
They really just have to show us their ID, and that's it. You know, and so I'm in there, and they're all in their cell. Like we bring everybody like from the day room. Everybody goes inside their cell. Then it's count time, and this particular cell block that I was in, I was in the I think it's like the E block. This was the psych block. So like they are on medication, and they also can't be with general population. They have to be in their cell. They like, you know, they're a little off. You know what I mean? So,
but are they also never getting out of prison?
I don't know necessarily, because there's some like, so that prison that I worked at, yeah, it's the execution unit, but that prison also was the prison where you can get released from. It's also the prison which it was a transit unit too. So like, let's say you're going to a further prison down deeper into Texas, that transit like that it was a checkpoint. So like some inmates will spend the weekend there, and then they'll wake up on that Sunday morning and leave and go head out to the real prison that they're going to be stationed at. So you'll get some inmates that are just like this particular one. This one was just there for the weekend, but he wanted to, he could have just wanted to like get out of his cell, to be honest, because the way that he was doing it, he was doing it in a way of like, look at me, like do it. You know what I mean? Like, He's tying his sheets up to the top of the bars, and and I wasn't thinking anything of it. Some inmates, they put sometimes they make themselves like curtains, and they want, in reality you're not supposed to do that either. You're supposed to be like, hey, take those curtains down. You know what I mean? But I'm counting. You know, I didn't think anything of it. But by the time I'm like getting back, I'm seeing him put it around his neck, and I'm like, oh shit, this is what I saw in the academy.
What'd you say?
I was like, yo, get that off of your neck. And he had this like look in his eyes of like, it's kind of too late. Like, I'm already doing it. Like he's wrapping it around his neck now. And I have like, we got mace on us. And what we're taught in the academy is that we're supposed to prevent them from even starting. Because if they're already hanging, then you're not gonna, it's not gonna help to gas them while they're already, you know, hanging. So so you got to warn them too. So that's another thing. I'm like, yo, take that off your neck or I'm gonna gas you. And he's like, and he's still like going through like with like one more rap to, you know, and I just took my gas, bro, and just fucking, you know, and what's crazy, this is the thing why I think he just wanted to get out and he was just fucking with me, because he had his fan, his little like, you know, portable fan, and he had it facing me like on, and it was blowing towards me. So like if I'm gassing him, the gas is also blowing on me, bro. So I'm like, and I'm also like,
oh my God, it's hitting you in the
yeah, bro. Yeah. So we're both getting gassed, you know what I mean? And he's fucking wilding out, man. And I'm calling the supervisor, telling them to get Sarge and all that, like bring them out. The inmates around, they're crazy, bro. They're laughing about it. The dude came out and he's all, you know, all orange and stuff, and shit sprayed on him and all that.
So do you put him in solitary after he does that?
Yeah, he does. Well, first we take him to the
ER or whatever.
Yeah, the little like
ER,
our
infirmary.
There you go. And you got some prison terms, bro.
Damn, yeah, well, 60 days in. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
That show's dope.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, they put like a guy in a prison for 60 days, and he's part of the reality crew, and he's like talking with producers the whole time. Basically, just so I guess inmates. It's like having an inmate who you can have an earpiece with. If you guys have never seen that show. It's freaking crazy. Dude, that is nuts.
Yeah, bro.
So a whole chapter of your life where, I don't know, did you get a lot of material?
I was in prison, bro. I was in prison. I have, you know what's crazy is I have like 2 jokes that I use as, you know, for being a CO, but I have to really dive in. You know what, when
it
I was
must have been a pretty dark time too for you, seeing that.
I was doing pretty well because I was working for the state. I'm 18 years old, so I'm working for the state.
Insane.
I'm out of my parents' crib. You know what I mean? Like I got
What were
a
your
car.
hours? What were your hours like?
I was 6 days on and 3 days off. And
was it just normal 9 to 5?
The hours was like, I worked the second shift, so I was there from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So like an 8 hour deal, and it was also, you know, you don't leave there. We got the ODR where we'll eat the food that, you know, prisoners.
What's ODR mean?
It was I don't remember like
what is ODR?
It's pretty much our break room. So we have our cafeteria. The inmates are cooking us food and shit like that, and you know, yeah, and we can also buy from the commissary and stuff like that. Like, it was crazy is that, like, being a CO. You're making a whole like 401k. This is like the thing where you're like retiring out of being a CEO. And that was another thing that was messing with me, because the inmates were also saying, they're like, you know, because I've eventually ended up saying, like, I'm gonna move to LA. Like, I've told inmates before, like, I'm gonna move to LA. Like, I'm an actor, and I'm thinking about doing some comedy and shit like that. And they'll be like, well, say a joke. Like, say, are you funny? You know, that type of stuff. But they've also said too, they were like, man, we'll believe it when we see it, because COs, they say they leave, but they always come back. COs always come back. It's an easy job. Like, technically, bro, it's like, yeah, it can be very dangerous, but at the same time, regular day, it's like a daycare for adults, bro. You're telling them what to do, when it's time to go to sleep, when it's time to eat, when it's time to go in the cell, when it's time for showers.
But theoretically, you'd be there for 20 years and then you get paid 20 years after that. Is that what the pension kind of look like? I don't know. Like, you didn't have to work there for. What did the pension look like? Did you know?
I'm not too. I was 18, bro. I just knew, like, for a 1K.
Like, all right, this is a good gig. I'm getting paid.
Right, yeah,
it's lit.
Yeah.
Oh, that is freaking nuts, man. So I imagine that you seeing that guy hanging himself and you gassing him. That was the craziest thing. That was
the craziest thing I saw, bro. I like in the. I've also been the term is called getting chunked on. So they would throw this inmate threw toilet water on me, bro.
Oh, that's not that bad though.
That's not that bad. I guess it could have been worse, because it could have been like shit, water,
or like throw up.
Yeah, no, it was toilet water. But it's a prison toilet.
That's not good. Yeah, that's not good. I guess it's not good.
But I appreciate your energy. Like, oh, it's not so bad. Yeah, bro. It was man. Again, during count time, man. Those inmates,
did
bro.
you threw him in the hole when he did that?
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah,
did
for
you
sure.
have the authority as a 19-year-old or 18-year-old CO to put somebody in the hole, or what were your abilities like? What was your authority like?
Yeah, no, we just, the only thing we can do is like
report to the higher
write
officer.
Inmates up. Yeah, we don't have if we had cuffs on us, it was because we were in the solitary confinement. If we were in the solitary confinement,
what did that look like? Solitary confinement.
That solitary confinement, bro. Those are the ones, they talking mad shit. Any type of anything that they can see in their little square, they're gonna like holler out. It just because it's like they're in there
for 23 hours.
23 hours, bro. They get to like get out to shower, and
is that every day they shower?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, bro. That's this inmate, he wanted, so this is, it's the same. This one was called the G5s. This cell block was like the G5s are pretty much like, that's the highest tier of like, rowdy, dangerous, like inmates, you know what I mean? That like, They're also there for the weekend because they're going to a more higher security prison. So they're stopping by hours. So since they're stopping by hours, then they know they're not going to be here. They're going to be rowdy. They're just going to be because fuck it, you know? And this particular day, I had a big ass pitcher of like some iced tea that some inmates brought. They brought to the CO because they'll hook it up sometimes. Like, here you go, boss, and they give it. I got this big ass, and I don't really drink it. It was really like just nasty tea. It wasn't nothing crazy.
What was it in?
It was just a big like pitcher, like you would see at a diner, like a big pitcher of tea. And ice, like it's just like condensation, like it was just like it looked pretty, like from the cell, you're just like, oh man, I want some of that tea. Okay. And so when the inmates they'll bring. It's crazy. I haven't talked about this in a while, but they'll bring in the food, their trays for these inmates, right? Because they're not allowed to go to the chow hall. They're G5s.
Who will bring it in for the
other inmates? The lunch workers. They'll bring in they'll wheel in the trays of food that they're gonna hand over to the inmates that they're not allowed out of their cell. So they're handing out, and then they also have their own pitcher, and each inmate gets 1 cup of tea that with their meal, right? And then the extra pitcher they leave for the CO. They're like, here you go, boss. That's for you for your shift, right? So this particular CO, this inmate from the second floor, there was 2 floors. He's looking down at my desk and he's like, yo, boss, let me get another glass of tea. And I'm like, nah, man, no, And he's like, come on, boss, let me get some tea, man. Like, come on, anybody, like, it's all good. He's bothering me about this tea all my entire shift. Come on, man, come on. To where it got to the point where like it was like my last count time, and I'm going over to his cell. I'm counting him, and he's like, he puts his cup like on the bars, and he's like, boss, come on, man, come on, boss, like look at my eyes, man. I'm closing my eyes. I ain't even gonna look. I ain't even gonna look. He ain't gonna look. And I said this, and I was being such an asshole at this point because I'm mad. So again, he's on the second floor, and my picture is on the desk. I said, if you can reach it, you can have it. Right? If you can reach it, you can have it. Yeah. And he's on the second floor, bro. It's like impossible. But I was just being an asshole. I was like, if you can reach it, you can have the whole picture. And he was like, all right.
How old was that dude?
This dude probably was like mid-30s, you know what I mean, in shape, just like, nobody talks to him like that type of, all right. And I'm walking down the steps. I'm walking through the day room. I'm going back to my desk. I'm kind of tallying up all the inmates, like kind of counting my count. And whenever he times it perfectly, bro. I guess he sees my shadow or something. But from his cell, he just chunks like all his like toilet water from like his cups. Like he had like 2 cups worth that just went, and it landed on me. I just like felt like a big splash, bro, of water, bro. And I was so like, bro, this shit just happened to me. This is the shit that you hear about in the stories of these CEOs telling me like they do this, and it happened to me, bro. And he was just like, yeah, he was like, you were a pussy at first. Now you're a wet pussy. Now you're a wet pussy. Yeah, he was calling me a wet pussy.
And you put him in the hole.
And I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't really have like a big comeback, but I was just like, when I get out of here, I'm gonna go get me some wet pussy when I get off of work. I'm gonna be out of here in like an hour. I'm just like, that was the best like type of comeback that I had, but he didn't give a shit. He was still in his zone. He was like, fuck you, fuck what you, like everything. And I called the supervisor and, called it in on my radio. They came in, they cuffed him. And when they cuffed him, he's still talking shit to me as he's going downstairs. He got his cuffs and he's talking shit like, you a bitch. And then like whenever he got like eye to eye with me, like from the main door of the day room, and I'm on the other side, he's on the other side. He's looking at me and he's looking in my eyes, bro. He's like, I can see in your eyes. I can see through your eyes that you're a bitch. I see in your eyes that you're a bitch. I was like, man, look at my eyes, bro. You can't see. I just close my eyes, man, whatever, bro. I just like, fuck. Damn. And I was low key scared, bro. Even though he was cuffed, I was scared, bro. He called it. I was a bitch. He saw it.
So how long did he do? For that.
I don't know. He was that was one of those like.
Did you ever see him again though? Oh, he was just there.
Nah,
for the
he
weekend.
was just there for the weekend.
You mentioned this guy was like a big guy working out type. Did a lot of people in that unit work out like every day? Everyone was pretty in good shape.
No, not everyone, because that commissary, bro, you can really eat shitty there.
Because it's just Cheetos and Lay's,
bro.
and
like
sodas.
you see, I don't know if you've seen like online, like when you're seeing like Young Thug like put on weight.
Free Thugger, bro.
Free Thug,
he
bro.
looks like he's eating
Bro,
good in there.
I know exactly what he's eating, bro. I'm pretty sure he's eating like those spreads, bro. The fucking chili with the type of like burritos that they know how to make, bro. Like they put noodles, they put chili.
And
they
I'm sure
put
everyone's
beans,
giving him food too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, bro. So like the chips. So I'm seeing him gaining weight. I'm like, yup.
That's good. He's eating good.
Yeah. But on the as far as like working out and stuff, yeah, everybody there's a good amount of people that are like just hitting it. Some people are just arms, bro. No legs, no nothing, just arms, bro. Like they got there was no free weights.
Just all arms.
Just arms, bro, hitting it.
I wonder what the mindset is too. Like if you know you're never gonna get out, would that make you work out or not work out? Just like, because I think like you want to get your mind is probably as sharp as possible if you're going to be in jail for X amount of time.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just person to person. Like who's going to work out, who's going to get fat,
Yeah.
who's going to take other people's commissary and things like that.
Right. It's it is like it's interesting to see how people use their time. Right, because there are people who work out, there are people who draw. There are some artists in there that they've told me, I've seen some of their work. I'm like, damn, this is dope, dude. Like, this is pretty cool, like all this shit. And they're like, man, when I came in here, I couldn't even like do stick figures, bro. My shit was trash. And now they're doing like fucking, yeah.
Like
so it's
me,
like,
bro.
It's like yeah, bro. Look, hey,
dog. This is my this is my stick figure shit.
Yeah, you know. But you do your thing. You know what I mean?
Bro.
But you know, had you been to prison, you know,
this
this
shit would be epic.
This shit would be epic,
Dude,
bro.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
Let's think about that, bro.
Yeah, this the skills, man. So and some of the, like they're reading books, they get their college degree in there.
Yeah, I was gonna
like,
ask, why are there some books that are banned in prison? Like I've heard that book 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
Oh, really?
50 Cent talks about that book all the time. I think it's more of like a manipulation tactic type book where they tell you, oh, this is how to treat this type of person. This is how to look like you're about to treat that person. So would it make sense that there be some books that would be banned in prison?
Maybe. That's my first time hearing that, but I could see how that makes sense. I mean, maybe you don't want to like have a book of how to escape a prison. You know what I mean? I think you'd want to.
You ever see somebody try?
Nah. I've had like I've worked the pickets, you know what I mean, where you're at the top where you have the fucking shotgun and the rifles and all that stuff. Where
So you'd hold one
I'll
of
be
those?
up there with my gun and shit, and it's boring. Sometimes you get sent to the picket as like a punishment. Sometimes from like the CEOs, from like the warden, not wardens, but like the lieutenants and shit. Like I've been sent up to the fucking pickets, bro. I'm like,
what did you do?
What
in
did
that
I do?
circumstance?
I know. I would think about it. I'm like, what did I do to get like called to get up to the picket? But man, you go to the picket, and that's the thing. You're not allowed to leave the picket. You can't go. You can't like there's a toilet up there for you, so you can use the restroom. Food is brought up there for you, like, and they're giving you the prison food. You can't go to like the Subway that's across the street. Can't do none of that shit. And you're there literally to make sure no inmate tries to escape. And if they do, then you have to fire. Like you have to like shoot them to stop them.
Texas is, I don't know how many states allow the death penalty, but Texas is one of them, right?
Yeah, and they do injection. So it's 3 injections. The first one is like an anesthesia. It's like they're like putting you to sleep with the first one. The second one is like shutting down organs, and then the third one, like the second one, you're pretty much like gone. But the third one, that's like done deal.
Families come to these events. Like
I heard that I've never like witnessed one. I have worked on a day that an execution was happening, and they like put in the first injection by like 6 on the dot, and by like 6:30 they're already driving them out. Like,
did you know the guy?
No. How
do some of these guys act in the upcoming weeks or days before they get executed? Did you know anybody who was going to get executed in X amount of months?
No, because they have them separate in a different like building, and they're in their own, deal. They've already came to terms with it as well, and they're already there's a big like theory about like they get to eat whatever they want, and I don't know what other prisons, like maybe prisons are different, but the prison I was working at, they can eat whatever the prison can make in there. You understand? So like if they can whip up a fucking steak because they have steak there, then you can probably get that, but they're not getting like Burger King.
What's some of the things that guys in there regret if they've ever expressed it to you? Besides the obvious fact that they shouldn't have committed that crime to get them in there, but are there other things that maybe they would say to you that you'd be like, I guess I never thought of that?
There was one inmate that was like, he was the one that kept saying like one choice every time. Like his thing was fraud. So I guess like paperwork.
What do you mean kept saying one choice?
One choice. So basically, like you got one choice. Like you can either like one choice can get you here, or one choice can get you like success and shit. So that guy, he was in there for, I guess it was like fraud, like tax fraud or paper, like whatever like type of shit. So he was just like basically saying like, just make sure your paperwork's on point, man. Like there's no point in like really trying to go, that route. And ever since he gave me the one choice type of like lecture or like, his spiel, every time he saw me, he'd be like, one choice, one choice. That was his like, what's up?
But why was he in the same block as people who had more heinous crimes? Like what was?
I don't know. I don't know how fraud or how deep, he got into, what I'm saying? Like on some like Frank Abagnale type shit. You know what I mean? You know Frank Abagnale? No,
tell me.
From Catch Me If You Can.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
I
Frank
don't remember
Abagnale.
that movie.
Oh man, that's one of my favorites, man. I think it's kind of cool when you can scam like that. Where he's like because that movie's pretty much like he pretends to be a doctor, pretends to be a pilot, pretends to be he just pretends to be these professions, writes these fake checks, and actually, well, during that time, he was actually like getting away with it. It's like, damn, that's kind of wild, bro. So ballsy, to make those moves like that. But, I don't know. I don't know how like that prison worked. I mean, that type of time, man, but I had to get the fuck up out of there. And I made sure I was like, I'm moving to LA. I am not coming back, specifically because those inmates said, well, we'll see you when you come back. I'm like, I ain't coming back, bro. Fuck that.
What were some of the things that you did to ensure that you were not going to come back? Just mindset turned on?
Yeah. Mindset, shit. I don't know, man. Just, worked my ass off, you know what I mean? Like, tried to, it's whenever you're making that leap to, like, you say you were doing real estate before this, right? Whenever you make that decision that you're going to chase your passion, especially a passion that is like entertainment, it's not easy, but there's also like, you're in it for the long haul. Like there's no going back. You know what I mean? You can quit, but
yeah, then you're a bitch.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, facts, bro. I ain't no bitch. You know what I mean? You're not a bitch.
Nah, dog. Because I imagine those guys probably have said that to so many CEOs. Like, nah, you'll be back. Nah, you'll be back.
Yeah.
And then those CEOs are probably like, no, I'm not. No, I won't be back.
Yeah.
I won't be back. And then they're back.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, man. There's no way. If I go back to that prison, it's probably because I'm going over there to maybe do a show, like a charity show.
You're performing. You're doing 20.
Yeah. And bro,
if I see,
man,
I did that.
I think about it, to be honest.
Bro, you got a video, the fuck out of that shit, vlog it. I'm coming with, bro. I'm hosting it.
Yeah, I would love that shit. I would love to like go back, honestly, because I feel like I would definitely see inmates that would remember me. I would remember them. I'd be like,
yo, Sosa.
Yeah,
he's doing well for himself.
Yeah, and I didn't come back, bitch. Right.
That's so cool, man. What an interesting freaking chapter of your life that so many people probably don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like people listening to this pod that know of you, and they're like, yo, this guy was a CEO.
I was a CEO,
so
man.
how many years was that, 2?
That was 2, yeah. It was around like 18, because again, I was 18 when I got in, and I was 18, and then I turned 19. I was like, I moved in like March, and my birthday's in June, so it was almost 2 years, going on 2 years of being.
So
out
what was
there.
your first year like in LA?
My first year, man.
Was it easy compared to being a CO or what?
Nah, hell no. I was nah, bro. That's it. I'd rather go back to the prison. Nah, it was
like maybe Dominguez was right.
Right. No, so you know, I definitely the first year, man. Well, it was cool because I like my boy, you know, helped me out with you know, with the couch situation, but trying to learn like, you know, getting headshots and getting on LA Casting and like submitting for, you know, I actually got my first commercial my first like 8 months into LA. So I was kind of like oh shit, it's like this.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, I got it.
How much did you make from that?
Oh man, it was a Little Caesars commercial, and we did English and Spanish.
Oof.
Yeah.
Probably 10K at least, right?
I made it was like 5K for the Spanish and 3K for the English, and it was a union. It was like non-union, so it was like flat rate, right? And then the following year they like reran it, and they gave us another check for it. So that was pretty cool. That was solid. That was one of the things where I was like, I'm gonna be all right. You know, I worked as a security guard for the LACMA Museum, the LA County Museum of Art in West Hollywood.
Was that like a pretty chill job for the most part? Just hanging around?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean, I'm doing security.
Making sure nobody steals art.
Yeah,
right?
make sure you don't touch it and get too close.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part, was probably just like standing for so long. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was and then I didn't start comedy until I was like 20, 21, you know? And my first set was actually about being a CO. Cause I was like, this is gonna be different. They're not gonna, and I have stories. I could tell these type of stories, and I got a couple of chuckles. I didn't have like big laughters. It was just enough to get like some chuckles. Kind of how like I'm just like breaking down stories to you, and kind of like fascinate, like that kind of feel. I was like, okay, I got it. I got something. You know what I mean? And then I went down that whole you know, journey of like, I've always wrote down premises. I didn't even know what premises meant until like I bought that comedy Bible book, you know. I bought that book and I was like, oh, okay, this is the setup, this is a premise. I was like, okay, all right, I got a bunch of these. So yeah, I started breaking it down then. Yeah, that's LA, man. That's I mean, I miss it low key. I kind of do.
What do you miss about it?
I miss the, you know, the connections, my folks out there, you know what I mean? Moving to New York, I kind of reset, you know, because I don't know anybody and I'm building relationships. I have to network again. I have to prove myself again. You know what I mean? In LA, yeah,
bro. Well, just to interject, that is freaking crazy. Cause I remember we were at the comedy shop. You were just hanging around, sitting as people, you know, comics do, like, oh yeah, go to the show, maybe somebody will drop out. Yeah, we put you on the show, bro, and you started freaking killing. It was like this guy in the basement hanging, like, okay, yeah, can you go up right now? We need someone to fill time, and you go up and you crush. Just something that like people who would be putting somebody on a show like that, you wouldn't expect somebody to crush. You know what I mean?
Oh, bro, I appreciate that. It was literally the exact like what comics talk about, of like the New York moment of like you or LA as well, just in the comedy journey of like, you just got to be around. And if somebody
like Saturday night, like 8 p.m. show, was bumping there, sold out.
What? And I was with my boy JC. Shout out to JC.
Shout out JC.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
JC.
bro.
JC Mendoza.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to JC, bro. JC Mendoza, bro. My guy. He definitely looked out, bro. Because because we were first at the stand, and he was hosting over there at the stand. And again, I'm just kind of showing face. I'm just trying to do what I got to do, bro. Hang out, say what's up to folks. And he was like, hey, I got to do a spot real quick over at the comedy shop. And I'll be back though for the midnight show over here. I said, all right, can I roll with you? All right, cool. So we started walking out there and we started doing the comedy talk. You know, we're just talking to, you know, what it's like to, you know, doing comedy out here in New York and the kind of the moves you got to do and what you know, that type of thing. So whenever when we got there, you know, I said, what's up to you? Just meeting you for the first time. I went downstairs to the green room where it was, and he's like, I'm gonna go upstairs real quick and, you know, just check in and see where I'm at in the lineup. Bro, he comes back like 5 minutes later. He's like, yo, you're doing 8 minutes. And I was like, hell yeah. I jumped up, bro. I was hyped, bro. Like I was watching the fight on DAZN. I was watching the Ryan Garcia fight. I thought that was just going to be my night where I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this every now and then. And, to kind of just check in and say what's up to folks. And that was a nice show, bro. And the booker, Miguel, the manager and booker and stuff, he showed love. Like whenever I got off stage, he was like, yo, give me your information, man. I want to have you here more often. It was cool, bro.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It's interesting to see that play out as a comic, being like, oh shit, like people talking about this exact thing. Yeah, it really is happening. Because you go to so many shows and so many times that you'll show face and like you're not on the show.
Yeah.
That's happened to me many times where I'm like, am I hanging too much? Like I haven't been on that show. Like, is that okay to be doing this and that? But I feel like, especially in comedy, it's like you really gotta be there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that that's such an important thing to understand too, because when I was younger and doing that, going to comedy clubs and having the show face, like you're younger and you're excited and you're not really thinking too much about it. You're kind of just like figuring out, okay, who do I talk to and this and that, whatever. Now that I'm older and I've already maybe I've done that already in LA, right? But now that I got to do it here, it kind of, you do get in your head a bit, you know what I mean? Of like, oh, okay, all right, hold on, all right. Let me see if I still got that, get that rust off a bit of like, am I hanging out too much? Am I showing too much face? Am I in the way? Am I this?
Yeah, do you think there is something like that? Like when you were in LA, did you ever feel like, oh shit, am I showing too much face?
Yeah, like for sure. And then you also cause it's like you want to man, shout out to my manager, man. They've helped me out with like being like, yo, just know, like, repeat at a spot, be there for a few times, be like familiar to where people are like, oh, hey, what's up? And then switch it to a new place and go there and be repeated over there to where you kind of,
that's an important
you
part.
balance it. Yeah. Instead of like, you're only going to the stand and that's the only place you're going to, but they don't see you at the Pear. They don't see you at the Cellar, at Olive Tree, all those things. It's kind of like, you're going to have to like have that even balance. So that's what I like. I've definitely been showing up a lot at the stand. So I was like, okay. And when I saw you again recently, this last time at the comedy shop, I haven't gone since I performed. So I was like, okay, let me go back over there. I definitely had a good night there. Let me go say what's up again. And that was a solid night, bro. That was one of the best nights of like a networking like thing, because I was vibing with everybody. I literally was like introducing myself at like, hey, are you a comic? Yeah, I'm a comic. Oh, cool. I'm Cris Sosa. Real good to meet you. This and that. I'm from, and you have to just do that.
Yeah,
you just got to do it, man.
And that's probably one of the harder things to do, because sometimes comics, or a lot of comics, we're in our own heads.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, oh, is that guy a comic? Whatever. I don't need to talk to him. Maybe, shut up. Like,
yeah. And you kind of linger a little bit, and you know what's crazy is that it's obvious. You can kind of see it, and when it happens, I know that I've been through that. So if I see it, man, like I'll go out of my way and be like, yo, what's up? Like, yeah, man, because it sucks, bro. It's not a cool feeling. So like, I know, like I do like to talk to people, and I like to be social and stuff. So it's not as really as hard for me. Sometimes connections don't hit. So like sometimes I can talk to folks and like maybe they're not really they're not vibing. It's not even, they're not saying that they're a bad person. It's just not hitting the conversation. And that's cool, because not all nights are going to be good, bro. You're going to have L's. You're going to have dubs where you're like, I didn't get no show. I didn't get no connection. I didn't get no Instagrams. I didn't get anything, bro. I didn't get anything, but you still did the work, man. You got out the crib. You went to the comedy club.
Yeah.
You're cool.
When you were in LA, were you kind of planning your journey to New York, or did you think you were going to be an LA comic for good?
Man,
what made you want to come over here?
Yeah. I knew that I when I moved to LA, I for sure was thinking, I'm not moving back home. I'm chasing my dream. This is like, I'm moving out to go.
Not going back to Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going back to I'm doing this to be at the top for sure. I wasn't thinking New York. I was thinking New York to like perform out here, but I wasn't thinking to live out here. What made me move out here was when I came out to the New York Comedy Fest last year. So I came out here last year, and I was here for the whole Comedy Fest for the week. And I was with a buddy of mine, my boy JP. I was on his couch, and we were and I got to really feel like what it's like to be out here for a week. I got to see, eat the food, meet the people, the comics. I've performed out here. I was, shout out to Ralph Barbosa. He was able to throw me onto one of his shows that he was doing. He was premiering his 30-minute special on HBO Entre Nos, and and it was at the Stand. And so the Stand was my first like New York Comedy Club, like hitting it during the comedy festival. So it was a really good look. And so I'm having like this crazy high of like, wait, this is probably where I'm supposed to be at. You know what I mean? Like in LA, I've definitely made a lot of great connections and stuff like that, but it was just something new and something fresh that I was feeling like. It was like after it's post pandemic, things are back to normal. I'm going to be 30 years old in a new chapter in my life. Like there's all these things that just kept going. And I was just like, man, why don't I just do that? Like I really thrive off of like making big leaps like this. And so I knew that this one was going to give me like a really good like excitement. And it did. It definitely got me down to some lows as well. New York can be very overwhelming. For those out there who are thinking about moving out here and stuff like that, like it's definitely tough. Like what people talk about, New York is tough, but it's not impossible, and you can definitely like come up on like.
Do you think like as you were growing as a comic in LA, did you see some other comics become complacent where they were like, oh yeah, I'm getting 2 or 3 spots a week. I'm doing well. I don't need to be traveling. I'll get my hour. I'll start doing road stuff. Yeah. Did you see that in LA as opposed to like,
I was one of them. Yeah. I was one of the ones that got complacent for sure. Like
what did your schedule look like to the point?
Man, I just wasn't like performing as much as like as a comic should be. I wasn't like, sometimes I would go weeks without performing, and I would just kind of like, I got my set and like I would sit around for, bookers to book me instead of like going to show face and sending avails and all that. And so like in LA, it's very easy to get complacent because you're in this beautiful place. You're already the palm trees and everything just looks good to where you're kind of just like chilling. And then especially if you're making money, so you're making money to live well off in LA, then you can get caught up in that where you're like, I'm out here, I'm good. Like that's it. You know what I mean? Like I'm already good. And it kind of plateaus you for a bit, as opposed to New York. Like it doesn't matter where you're at in your career. You got to hustle out here, bro. Like you got to hustle. You gotta, and there's no shortcuts around it. Like that's what I love about like, even when I'm in like these trains or like just walking and like around all these like New Yorkers or just people out here, like you could just sense that energy that everybody has that same, we're all under the same umbrella of hustle. So everything that falls under that is like, we all kind of have that same mindset of like, we got to work, bro. There ain't nothing else to it. You know what I mean? Like we're here. This is your studio. This is your spot. You putting in the work, you know what I mean? To make shit happen. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, makes sense. We get it. It's kind of like where I'm at with it right now,
Nice, man. And you see New York like fully for you? You're going to move here for good now?
Well, I'm here. January will make it a year for me. I definitely wanted to do more. I want to do more than a year. You know what I mean? Like I was just thinking like a 3 to 5 bid, kind of see like where I'm at. Where during that time, like I definitely like just. We all have our these goals, right? Of like, in 5 years, I want to see myself here and I want to see myself here. I always, especially just after each year, I like to evaluate how my last year went and how do I make the next year better. That's kind of just like, on the surface, like that's like a given, right? So I want to. I like where I've gotten so far since I've been here the year. Like I've gotten on some dope shows. I've made some dope connections. I definitely want to get on some more podcasts. So I appreciate you bringing me on here, bro. Yeah, I got excited. I was like, oh hell yeah. I want to hit a lot more podcasts out here, man. Like to, let more people know that I'm out here. You know what I mean? That, I'm down to be on your show. I'm down to do whatever. Like love it, bro. Yeah. So, that's what the things that I'm looking forward to, like in these following years. Like, of course, I want to come up on some more like of these. I want to, be some past comedians in these dope venues. You know what I mean? I want to hop in that circuit. like that show right there that happened, that was such a dope level up in the moment of like coming up on the end of the year that can kind of blend into the top of the year where it's like, oh nice, I'm gonna have a place where like, oh, he's like, I'm cool, like I can work here, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm working, bro. I got a job. I work behind the bar out here. I work at a Moxie hotel. You know what I mean?
That we have the Ted Jones Comedy Show at the Moxie Lower East Side.
Word.
Which hotel? We gotta get you on the Ted Jones Comedy Show, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I was
bro.
gonna tell you about that too. Which Moxie? Are you kidding? Moxie's our boys, dog.
Yeah, Moxies are tight, bro.
That's
I work at the Moxie in Williamsburg, the new one.
Bro, that's where we had the 4th annual Ted Jones World Vegan Hot Dog Eating Contest.
Oh, that's what Glordelli's hosted it?
No. She was in it. She was in it. I hosted it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got you.
That's hilarious, dude.
That's
no
tight,
way,
bro. Yeah, damn. I hate that I didn't work that day, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro.
Or maybe it was July 3rd, but yeah,
it was around that. But that's crazy. What a small world.
Yeah, that's
I work there. I work at the bar in the lobby. Yep.
I definitely met you one time when I was going over there.
Maybe.
You know Jess?
Fucking whipping it.
You know Jess?
Yeah.
Jess is my girl.
The event manager. Yeah, she's great.
That's great.
She's super cool.
Dude, Chris, this is an unbelievable episode, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro. Before we get out of here, we're going to pop up your Instagram. Let us know where we can find you. Yeah. This will be out pretty quick. We're going to turn this over. This will be out tomorrow. Okay. So if you have anything this weekend or things coming up, please let us know, dude.
Nice, bro. Yeah, y'all can find me on all platforms at Cristino Sosa. My name is Cristino Sosa. Holla at me. I'm more like I'm on IG heavy, so y'all want to holla at me over there, hit me up. I check my DMs. I respond.
Let's go. Yeah, slide in the DMs, dog. You single?
Yeah. Oh man, I am
all right,
single.
Man, so ladies, slide in the DMs.
Hey, well, let's hold back, okay?
He's focused.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay focused. You know what I mean? I got a little crush going on, so I'm still trying to gauge that.
All right,
know
man.
What I'm saying? So
I feel you.
Because I appreciate that energy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. Listen, I'm never mad at the love that comes my way. You know what I'm saying?
Well said, Chris. Dude, thanks so much for coming on the pod. Guys, follow this guy. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Yeah.